All right. Hey everyone, Coach Matt here. What we're going to be doing in this video is a follow along yoga style class. This is meant for after Murph. Whenever you guys do it, wherever you guys do it, we'll all be able to do these stretches at some point. I'm going to talk you guys through each stretch, talk about where you should be feeling it, and then be holding it for the full amount of time that is allotted for each movement. Basically, what we're going to be targeting is the quads, the hamstrings, the rear delts, the shoulders, the chest, and the core. All the movements that are basically involved with the push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and running that is in Murph. So without further ado, I'm going to start the video. So I'm going to be adjusting the camera depending on if I'm standing or sitting for each movement, but what we're going to start with here is a movement called pigeon. So pigeon is essentially, in my other videos I've talked about it, but I'm going to go through it again. What we're doing in pigeon is starting on all fours. We're extending our left leg straight out. We're bringing our right leg, so we're thinking about pointing our toe towards whatever wall or directly at a right angle or as close to that as possible next to us. And we are sinking into this bent leg here. We should be feeling it on the outside of our quad here, on the side almost in the middle, the IT band. And if we want to intensify the stretch, we can go down in our forearms. We are going to hold pigeon on both sides for 2.5 minutes. I'm going to be playing yoga music in the background. I'll also have the timer. You guys need to come out of the stretch at any point. Go ahead and come up onto your arms and just hold here. If you want to go out of the stretch and come back in, that's also totally fine. Again, we should be feeling it. IT band, outside portion of the quad. It's going to be a very used muscle in the squats, in the running, basically all of what Murph is. We are 1 minute in. We have 1.5 minutes left. Good time to think about your breathing here, bring that stretch a little deeper. If you can't quite get your forearms to the ground, just think about going deeper into the stretch on the exhale. About 30 seconds left. Three, two, one, good. Let's go ahead and switch. Make sure to come out of all of these stretches extremely slowly and carefully. You never want to force yourself into a stretch or by the same token, force yourself out of a stretch. So we're going to do pigeon with our left leg now for 2.5 minutes. So I'm going to extend the right leg, try to point my toe at the camera, come down to my forearms, and sink into this stretch here. 2.5 minutes. We're 1 minute in. Got 1 minute left. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Just coming out of that stretch carefully. So just went through pigeon on both sides here. What we're going to do next is take the focus away from the lower body and go more towards the upper body, the shoulders and the chest region that we just used for all those push-ups. What we're going to do here is an upward dog. So what upward dog is essentially I'm on all fours here. I'm stretching my hands slightly outside of shoulder width apart, and I'm thinking about leaning back and driving my head towards my quads. Don't think about chest to quads because then you'll lose your back this way. I want you to think about driving your head through your shoulders, trying to touch your quads with it. We're going to hold this stretch for 2 minutes here. 45 seconds left. Three, two, one, good. So, just did a little bit of shoulder work. What we're gonna do now is transition back down to the lower body, the lower back here. So I know we didn't do any deadlifting or any direct lower back movement, but we just ran 2 miles, did 300 squats. It's a lot of pressure on the low back. So what we're gonna do is go through, let's stay diagonal for this one. This is going to be, don't quite have a name for it, but I'll describe it. We're going to be crossing our right leg over the top of our left leg, using our left arm as leverage on the outside of our right leg, and slowly using that leverage to twist with our right arm planted behind us. Very important in the stretch, working with the low back region, the lumbar spine. You don't want to force this. If it feels tight, if it feels like, wow, this is something that I can't really push too far, that's totally fine. We're just pushing to the level that we feel a release, gentle tension, never heavy tension. We're gonna go for a minute on each side. You should be feeling this side on your bottom right hand side of your back. "30 seconds left. Three, two, one, good. Switching to the other side. Crossing the left leg, using that right elbow to use that as leverage, and we are twisting. Really gentle tension here. This is the bottom left-hand portion of your back. Make sure to never force it. Just go as far as you feel is comfortable. Going for 1 minute here. "30 seconds. Three, two, one, good. So just went through a little bit of low back work. What we're going to do now is transfer back to the upper body here. We're going to focus on the triceps and the lats here. Triceps obviously being one of the main movers in our push-ups, lats obviously being one of the main movers in our pull-ups. So what we're going to do here is a modified child's pose. Child's pose, as many of you probably know, my big toes are touching. I'm sitting back onto my heels, and I'm going with my arms straight out in front of me and trying to touch my head to the ground. What modified child's pose is, and what we're going to do now, is same thing as child's pose in terms of your lower body. I'm sitting back on my heels, but what I'm doing with my arms is I'm thinking about bringing them to my head and then driving through my elbows to try to pull my elbows into the ground and driving my head back. Why we are doing this is stretching the triceps, because it's now stretching this muscle group right here, and it's extending more through the lats right here. We're going to do modified child's pose for 2 minutes. About 40 seconds left. Three, two, one, good. So if we were really driving into our elbows there, guys, it should feel like we had tight triceps, should be feeling those a little looser. Also those lats, big muscles on the side of your body that we use for the pull-ups. What we're gonna do now is transition back to the lower body. There'll be a lot of transitioning from upper to lower body just so we can give those parts of our body a break between stretches. This next movement is called dragon. Don't quote me on that, but I'll explain it. So what dragon is, so I'm gonna stay in the frame here. I'm lunging out, thinking about squeezing my right glute and keeping this knee, my left knee, at a 90-degree angle. What I'm then doing with my chest is falling forward onto this 90-degree angle knee and think about driving my chest into my knee. And you can see my ankle is now coming forward. We are stretching here the calf muscle and also all of the ligaments in the ankle. So it's very important to be gentle because the Achilles tendon is located here. But we just did 300 squats and ran 2 miles. Our ankles need a break and need a little bit of a release of tension. So this is going to do that. We're going to hold dragon on each side for 3 minutes. So it's very important throughout this 3 minutes. It's okay if we can't start fully down. If we want to progressively move our way there, that's totally fine. Just make sure you do not force yourself into this stretch. All right, 3 minutes. Left side. We also want to make sure this heel is on the ground here. It's not coming off the ground. We're 1 minute in. Halfway. If you need to come out of the stretch, but it feels very intense, it's totally fine. You can always come back into it whenever you're ready. It's going to be really good for people who are looking to get better at pistols as well, because you really need that good ankle mobility for your knee to track over your toe. We got 1 minute left. Twenty seconds. Three, two, one. Good. You guys need to shake out your legs, totally fine. You're gonna go into 3 minutes on the right leg now. Bringing it up to a good lunge position, squeezing our left glute, and then using our chest to drive into our knee, and holding for 3 minutes. We're just about halfway. One minute left. Thirty seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. So those were 2 very long holds we just went through. Like in many yoga classes, if you guys have ever been to one, we usually take about 2 to 3 minutes to just lay down and relax. We just did an entire hour-long workout in Murph, and it takes a toll on us. So we're about like halfway through the class. We're gonna take 2 minutes here, just lay down, relax, think about letting all the tension out of your body, and then we'll get back into it. 2 minutes. You can cross your arms, lay them flat on the ground. Think about your breathing, letting the tension go out of your body. Got 30 seconds left. All right. So we are back. Hopefully that was good. Nice little midway point just to relax. We're going to get back into the stretching with a stretch called frog. So with frog here, it is primarily targeting the adductors or the inside portion of our quad and our groin area, so right below the hip flexor. What we're doing for frog is essentially thinking about starting on all fours and then progressively walking our knees out to the side to the point where you get that stretch on the adductor inside portion of the groin. So you can see I'm progressively walking my knees out and then going to my forearms and then sinking back into thinking about pushing my glutes towards my heels. You'll really get that good stretch. We're going to hold the frog for 3 minutes here. Just did a lot of squatting, a lot of running. Should be feeling it again, guys, inside portion of that leg. You're halfway. "30 seconds. Really important to get out of this one slow. If you want to come back up to your hands, walk one knee in, walk the other knee in, and we are done with that stretch. So going back up to the upper body here, what we're going to do is saddle eagle. So with saddle eagle here, focusing on sitting back into the saddle position, just basically sitting on your heels. And what we're doing with our hands, we're taking our left arm, bringing it to 90 degrees, wrapping our right arm around the outside, then holding this position here. Where you should be feeling this is as you wrap your right arm around and clasp your hands right in that left rear delt or shoulder blade region. You should be feeling a stretch as if your muscles are stretching this way. We're going to hold saddle eagle on each side for 2 minutes, starting with the left arm. Halfway. Thirty seconds. All right. 3, 2, 1. Good. So we're switching to the right arm now. Halfway. Thirty seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. I actually got a really good stretch too in the quad region from sitting in that saddle position. So that was a little bit of a dual stretch. So we're going to take just 30 seconds here. Just loosen up, move around, whatever muscles you want to move around. If it's your ankles, feel free to do some ankle circles. If it's your wrists, wrist circles, shrugs, whatever it may be. I know it's a long time to be going through stretches, but it's helping us in the end. We just did a lot of work. Murph is one of the longest workouts a lot of us will ever do, and it needs to be addressed with how we prepare for it and how we de-stress from it, which is basically what this is. So we have 2 more movements after this. The first one is going to be what I like to call thread the needle. So a thread the needle stretch is coming onto all fours here. And all we're thinking about here is taking our left hand, scooping it underneath our body, trying to get that shoulder to the ground, laying down, and trying to look at the ceiling. What we're focusing on here is thoracic or upper spine rotation, because you can feel that your body's rotating as you scoop your arm under. What we just did in terms of running, in terms of pull-ups, a lot of thoracic extension, or this movement right here, is needed for that. So all we're doing is loosening up that top portion of the spine with this movement. We're going to do 2 minutes on each arm, starting with the left. Just about halfway. 3, 2, 1. Good. Transitioning to the other side here. So scooping that right arm. Taking a look at the ceiling. Got 1 minute left. All right. 3, 2, 1. Good. So our last stretch here is going to be a forward fold for 1 minute. With this forward fold here, just having our legs straight out in front of us. It's the last movement. All we're doing is thinking about releasing the low back here. We're going to hold this forward fold for 2 minutes. It's okay if we can't grab our toes. It's just looking at a little bit of hamstring mobility right here, a little bit of low back stretch, just focusing on relaxing into your hamstrings. Don't have to force yourself to grab your toes or anything, just focusing on relaxing. Twenty seconds. Three, 2, 1, done. All right, guys. So that is it for me. I hope you guys all enjoyed the class. Obviously, it's just a compilation of a lot of stretches with the muscle groups that we just worked in Murph. Thank you guys for all doing Murph, and I'll see you next time. If you have any questions, just make sure, shoot me a text, shoot out the text. We're here for you guys. See you later.